feel like we should give you a different name today.
Yeah, she needs to be rough around the edges.
You're
like Marge.
Yeah, you're more like a Sue today.
Yeah, I'm a Sue.
You're Sue.
Sue Butler.
Sue Butler.
So
yeah.
Well, yeah, your girl's got the jitis.
Yeah,
Pretty
she
sure
does. I think so. I think that Dr. Sarah over here would say you have laryngitis. How does one even get that?
Listen, I had a...
Is this from too much hooting and hollering?
Yeah, it is.
I think it is.
It is. I went out on the town on Friday night for the, lacrosse parents. Mm-hmm. Vegas night, baby.
Vegas, baby. What happens in Lacrosse Vegas stays at Lacrosse Vegas, unless, of course, we talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah, and that's true because I do want to tell you this. Besides mygitis, there may be some other communicable diseases that were swapped because allegedly,
dude, those parent nights. I was not kidding when I said get after it. Like this is like because
it's like wilding out.
They go wild.
We went hard, baby.
Yes.
I mean, I really didn't. I don't know why this happened to me, but allegedly, I have an informant who works in the building where this event was held. And there may or may not have been some oral situations that went down. They were caught in the act. BJ City.
BJ's? Whoa!
Yeah.
Somebody's getting the not just laryngitis, but thrush.
And I thought I was the big winner because they had a silent auction. I won 2 baskets.
I was hoping I was going to say, like, what do they got? Because that's really, you could clean up at those. 2
gigantic baskets. And I'm like, well, I won the night.
Yeah, well,
I sure didn't. Whoever the guy was won. I got all kinds of gift cards. I got about 5,000 air fresheners for my car.
Nice. Okay.
It's always like this shit you don't want.
Well, sometimes it's good stuff.
I did get some gift cards and stuff. Like
sometimes,
pizza,
yes. Yeah, this is good. I love
dry
this.
cleaning.
Very good. Things you'll use.
Honestly, I was excited. But it is funny what they throw in there, and you're like, really? Do I need a microfiber towel?
It is totally true. It's like somebody went to Home Goods and went through Home Goods and we're like, okay, we're going to come up with like a basket that's like on theme for what it is. And it's like a cleaning basket. Yeah. And you know what? I will say, as a winner / maker, and I appreciate those baskets. They're great if you're if somebody's moving to a new house. Or,
well, because the theme of one of my baskets was business in the front, party in the back.
Stop.
So like the front was all the cleaning stuff.
Stop. That's funny. Okay.
And the back was like Buffalo Wild Wings.
You gotta give it up to whoever made. That's clever.
I bet it was the same lady who was doling out BJ's because she seems fun.
God. She does seem fun. She seems like she's doing a lot of hooting and hollering, if you know what I mean.
For real. I really wish I knew who it was though, because I was tickled by this scoop.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad I have like loose lips. Somebody's telling me what happens after I leave and hit the sheets. Yeah. It's when the real fun starts.
Parents go crazy when they have a reason to go crazy.
Yeah, like the green light.
Yeah. I was an art teacher, like an after school art teacher for some ran an art program, and I would come into classrooms when they would do like the art gala at the end of the year, whatever, and I would make an art project with the kids, and then we would auction it off at the gala, and we made some really cool stuff. And I remember at one of the galas I went to, not one but 2 tables caught on fire.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like,
and it was the
adults?
adults?
Yes.
Wow.
You should not. There were no children. This is like a Great Gatsby themed or whatever. Yes. Like they were going crazy, and there happened to be candles. Like, you should not combine drunk adults, like parents on their night off, with fire. Yeah. Two fires started. And I'm like, this is wild, because I was on reality TV and it was tamer than this.
It's true though, because like and I just wanted to tell that lady giving the BJ, I'm like, we're not actually in Vegas. Like we're in Warrendale.
We are going to talk about it too.
Yeah, right. But hey, maybe they were married. I don't even know if it was an affair situation. Maybe
it might just be they were getting after it and they're just like...
Yeah.
But that happens sometimes where the parents, like the divorced kids...
Yeah. It's like they refreshed their passion.
Yeah, I just met somebody who like met his new wife like that.
This.
And they were like, you guys should be together.
Oh.
And they were like kids that got them together.
I mean, hey, you got to, in this economy, you got to take love where you find it.
I think, I like it. Guess so, that makes sense. They're hooking up.
We were playing cards. I played blackjack. Started with $10, ended with $110.
Whoa!
But
listen, you left that.
I know. I had a great time.
You really cleaned up. That you left with good stories, 2 gift baskets, $100 more than you came with.
I know.
And a little laryngitis. But you know what?
Yeah, right.
Beggars can't be choosers.
I think I was a winner. My dealer, his name was Earl. And so when I found out somebody got lucky, I was like, hey, maybe it was Earl. He deserved it. He worked hard all night. I tipped him big, though. Don't worry.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, how are you?
You're not playing any Texas Hold'em or poker?
They didn't
or
have
what?
it, Sarah.
Oh, you would have.
I was so mad.
You would have just it wouldn't have been fair.
That's probably why they didn't want to risk it.
They're like, nah, we can't get too high stakes. Right. Gotta keep one where the house wins. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is fun times, man.
How are you? Are you getting ready to come to the Berg?
Oh my gosh, I am ready. You know what? I think the algorithm knows that I am. Well, 2 things have happened. 1, I follow all of your family that live in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And 2, I also follow the Pitt fan accounts. So those 2 things mean
you love Pittsburgh.
Yes, I get Pittsburgh like
that's so fun
stuff. The same way you get stuff about the Denver airport. Yes. I get stuff about Pittsburgh. So I have been listening to a lot of local news who are talking about TikTokers or influencers who do the Pittsburgh accent.
Oh yeah.
And are, trying to
That's so funny that you're getting that.
I know, it's so strange. So yes, I would say the algorithm is prepping me. I'm going to need to go to Permanente Brothers. That is going to have to happen because I have seen so many things like ads for it and I've been there before to where I can crave the French fries are especially what I want. That's
exciting to me.
That place or the place you took me that's like a diner style.
I think that was Permanente.
That probably is it.
Yeah.
Do you sit at the counter?
Yeah.
Did we sit at? Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
That is it. Then I've combined. I was like, those 2 places are delicious, but that is one place, and I am going to go there. We have to go there.
Can't wait till you get here
because I'm very, very excited to eat food in Pittsburgh.
Excited to see you.
Me too. Yeah. And I'm excited for our 1,000th episode.
OMG. Oh my God.
That was all the things.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Sarah's working overtime trying to make up for my silence over here.
That's right. Don't worry. I got it.
It's going to be a blast.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
So much fun.
I'm hearing from all of so many of you brainiacs have sent me messages saying, I got my ticket. And that makes me so excited because they're all people that like, maybe I've just met you on like, just know about you in like the DMs and social media, DMs, maybe like we just know each other from the book club or from the dog club, things like that. And it's now I'm going to get to see all of you people in real life. And for some people, it's been years since we've seen them.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be real fun.
It's a celebration of the 1,000 episodes, but also of just like the commitment of our listeners all of these years to hang in with us.
We've grown up with them.
Yeah.
Think about that.
There's one gal that wrote me and she could bring her baby who's 2 months old to this event. She's going to strap that thing to her and come on down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I love a new baby.
I know. I'm like, please bring your baby.
Yes, we love a baby.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a tiny baby.
That's good. Susie, you're going to lose it.
I know.
Like, that is where people think that we're the opposite. Like, you'd think who loses it around babies? Probably Sarah. No. Susie loves babies.
I do. You love kids more.
I love kids. You're like, go away.
Yeah, you're annoying. Shut up.
And I'm like, come over here. I got a joke for you.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to interact with me, and you like them when they don't.
Baby. Like, oh my God. That's so tiny, and they cry different when they're that young still, too.
Yeah.
So tiny. So that'll be fun. We're going to have a blast. If you want a ticket, go to thebraincandypodcast.com. And you get food included, games, prizes.
Yes.
And prizes.
And fun. You can't really put a price on that.
No, I have so many fun things planned. I should say we.
Yeah.
Because
we've already been laughing so much about our ideas. That's my favorite. Like, what about this? And we just giggle.
Don't miss it.
Right.
Anywho, I guess I'll get started on teaching things. Maybe we can
teach
learn
us some
something.
things. Let's learn some things. It's the Brain Candy Podcast, for goodness sakes.
Okay. Did you happen to catch the article in Atlantic this week about what it's like to survive a lightning strike?
Oh my gosh. Freaking fascinating. Well, Suze, I saw that only on like the Atlantic's Instagram page, and then I went to the Atlantic to try to find it, and
I
it's
hate
like
when they do that.
They released it first and before, and so I didn't get the chance to read it. I'm so glad that you're going to talk about it, because when they said in just a little excerpt that I read that people report that they feel like their soul is changed.
Yeah.
That is wild.
It really did make me think, because some of the reports from people felt more than just like physical stuff. It felt like when you take drugs or something, and it likes mind altering kind of, and like existential.
Well, yeah,
stuff.
I mean, it does kind of think about, there are so many things involved with that.
Yeah.
One, it just the expression like hit by lightning, it's like this 1 in a million billion chance, maybe a little more likely than that. But I think
you're like... That's not an exact number.
Right, no.
Yeah.
You feel like that. But then, if you did get hit by lightning... Yeah. I would be... Like, I told you about my car, my little minor fender bender, sort of, with the... I was scared to get in the car and drive, and I don't look at shopping carts the same, because I'm like... What if you just pops out of nowhere, right?
You never know. One could be right around the corner.
Right. There's so much of that is in my control. But imagine lightning. Lightning, every time I left the house, especially in a place like Colorado, I would be terrified.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because that was one of the main themes of the article, was about how they have like a conference and they all like to hang out, because a lot of times people don't believe them about stuff. And so it's helpful for them to like, have time to share it with each other. But anyway, the group is called the Lightning Strike and Electrical Shock Survivors International.
Yes.
And many people at these groups claim that they've been struck more than once.
Yeah.
And statistically speaking, that's not like, it's like a mathematical like impossibility almost. Like there could be maybe one, it said, like mathematically there could be one person on Earth, and there's like dozens.
Then what's happening there?
Okay, so like I'm open to the idea that maybe like some people are fucking lightning rods. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, right. I believe that I could go with that. I'm like open to all possibilities here.
Me too.
I love that we're on the same page. Yes.
Yeah, like that's possible.
Totally.
But the article said, what else could be possible is that, like you just said, PTSD, right? So if you've been struck by lightning and then there's a thunderstorm.
Yes.
Right? Well, if we think about people in the military that have PTSD, one of the tools that they use to teach them about how to cope with that is those grounding techniques of like the things that you're supposed to do to remind yourself that you're not in the war anymore, babe.
Oh,
you're
Jesus.
at home. Well, that is not
Can't do
true
that.
in a thunderstorm.
You can't do that. Right.
You're back in it. And so that reality that you are in a thunderstorm, you can't tell yourself you're not.
Right.
And coupled with lingering actual physical symptoms that neurologically do happen where they feel pain out of nowhere.
Right.
Combined.
And just like you get an electrical shock. Like I've had a really bad, I just like get jolted a little bit when it's dry, like during the dry months out here.
Yeah.
You've been to my house.
Yeah.
You know when you accidentally touch my bed, my bed frame? It's crazy. It feels like you are it hurts for a minute. Like that, if I were already electrocuted and already struck by lightning, I would be convinced that every time I'd be like, I got struck again today.
Yeah, Sarah, because I'm sure you saw in the caption on Instagram that 1,000 volts is what they use for a defibrillator to restart your heart. Inmates are executed in the electric chair at 2,000 volts of whatever. And a typical lightning strike is 100 million.
Oh my God. How does dude, and I saw in there it said something like it's moving so fast and it's so strong that it practically skips through you, and that's the only way you do survive.
That's right.
It's like
it was
higher
milliseconds.
Jesus, that it goes so fast. Because you know, my girlfriend's a prosthetist, and she said a lot of the I know it's funny every time. A lot of the and she does upper extremity prosthetics, and a lot of her patients are survivors of electrocution.
No.
Yeah, because it burns.
From
burns,
like downed wires or things.
Yes, they're like they work on all the wires and stuff, and they grabbed it, and then it basically can explode out the end of your hand. You know, you lose the limb because
and then the hand dies. Like right, because it's a burn.
Yeah, your voice is so cute. I can't take it. Like you're so adorable.
It's like I'm a different person.
Like you're like that little. I don't know that you said. It's like a little cartoon. I don't know what it is in me. I'm just like, she is the cutest thing. I just want to put her in my pocket.
Well, don't get used to it. My asshole self will be back. Don't you worry.
I wish you well. But.
Thank you. So then a lot of these people truly, and like I said, they may be hit more than once. I don't know. But more likely is this combination of like unique factors for a lightning strike victim.
But I really, let's also remember remember not that many episodes ago, we talked about how frequently lightning actually strikes the earth.
Yeah, you taught me so much at that
and you were
time.
like, no way! And because it struck 50 feet from my house, and I'm still not over that. And had anybody been on a walk and been, in a clearing or whatever, it's very likely.
I'm so silly that I didn't even think this was real, but you taught me don't get in that darn bathtub. I'm sitting there soaking in water.
Through the water.
Like
that it could come through the shower and blow the whole shower out. Yeah.
Yeah, they said at the conference all these people that have been struck, they unplug all their appliances during a storm because it can travel through your outlet.
Dude, it is and the more you know. That's one of those where I don't want to know. It's so random. Sometimes knowing things is just too dangerous. When you know about stuff and you have to think about, I have to tell myself sometimes, especially when I'm doing any sort of extreme sport or everything I do, there's a risk of death. Now I'm working with horses. It's gigantic animals that could kill me in any second,
I didn't even think about that.
Right. And I just tell myself all the time, if that's going to be the way you go out,
you had a good run.
You're going to go out that way. I'm not going to not do right. That, I'm not going to not do the things I love, because if you think that way,
that's what would happen to me. Because if I got hit when I was soaking in the tub, I would have died doing what I loved.
This is true. she went out doing what she loves. Yes.
It did say that your lifestyle is so much more likely to have a lightning problem.
Well, that's why I go to the classes, and that's why I make sure that I'm educated on how to, because there are ways that you can, even when you know, minimize the risk.
Rubber soles.
You can make sure that you always, if you even hear the sound of thunder and you are anywhere hiking above tree line, you turn around and you run down the mountain.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. That was the majority of the class that I went to in hiking 14ers. They said, because after, 12,000 feet or whatever, I can't remember, there's no more trees. That's past the tree line. So you become the
tree, the lightning rod.
You become the lightning rod. And they said, you don't even go into a cave. Don't even go into anything. You need to run down the mountain. And if you're going to hike one of those mountains in, a lot of times there's, not this season because we had no snow, but there's a short window of when you can hike some of these real tall peaks when there aren't like the glaciers and everything. And it happens to be during a very stormy time, like the middle of summer is very stormy. So they say you have to leave at like 4 o'clock in the morning before the sun comes up so that you're down before 2 p.m. because that's when the afternoon thunderstorms roll in, and you cannot be on the mountain in a thunderstorm. And they were like, the guy who taught the class said, it's not she said, everybody I know who hikes 14ers has a story of somebody they know who's been struck by lightning.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, this class should be called How to Not Get Struck by Lightning, because that was, I would say 75% of the class was how to not get struck by lightning. The other 25 was make sure you have the right gear. Here's a coupon at REI.
What do they tell you to do? Rubber soles and what else?
What you mean, right kind of gear?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking? To protect for all elements that the weather could change very quickly. And when you're sweaty and the temperature drops, like if you're stuck up there and the sun goes down, then you get cold and hypothermia can set in. So having those 2 layers and like the right kind of stuff. And then hydration, like making sure that you bring enough water that was really it. Hydration. And then poles if you have knee issues, were the poles that people forget about, especially for descending.
Remember when I joined the Frank Lloyd Wright Historical Society just because I was really into their walking sticks that you get?
I think that's a great walking stick too.
It's such a good stick.
It is a good stick, and I think you should have Adam, like if you go, you should take it on like good hikes that you go on, and then have Adam carve a little like emblem in it, or you can get one of those little burnt like rods to do like a little like thing, so you can like do a little mark of like where you've hiked.
Oh my God. There'll be like 1 mark on it.
yeah, it's like 1. Where you bought it.
Yeah, I really wanted this walking stick since I never go walking.
Maybe someday when you're older. Or...
No, for real, I do. I like it. And we have woods and stuff. Anyway, the other thing I really liked about the lightning article.
I'm like, don't come at me. You bought a stick. I don't have a stick. You got the stick. Okay.
Was how there was no uniformity with the symptoms and the effects of these strikes. That some people had, there's a name for it. They had something called,
the scarring is really wild, where it looks like lightning.
Yes, it's called a Lichtenberg figure. Wow, and it looks like branches of a tree.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
Yeah, but some people had nothing.
So my girlfriend was telling me about this, and I didn't look into it or research it at all. She just told me this while we were on a hike, and we were talking about lightning.
Yeah.
She said that these scientists have successfully photographed what happens to a tree when it gets hit by lightning, and the UV lights that it's emitted from it almost looks like it you can see like it burst out of the tree's leaves.
Oh, wow.
And it's never before been caught on
really
camera.
Cool.
And now I want to see it, and this reminded me of it. But she said there's something about it. It almost looks like the tree is you know how dogs like shake out and horses shake out the energy when it's kind of like the tree's doing that.
Jeez.
And I'm like, whoa, that's cool, with like the electrical impulses that go through it. Imagine.
Okay, that was in the Atlantic. You should read it. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Man, I was like, that looks like such a fascinating.
And I wish they would stop promoting articles that are not released yet.
Yeah, what the heck? Because
We
I
have a
was
bone
so
to pick with
excited
you.
about that. And then I'm like, that makes me not want to have a membership.
Yeah, it makes us mad at you.
Yeah. So what are you doing?
Tell you who
Anyways.
I'm not mad at.
Yeah, who?
Thrive Cosmetics.
Absolutely not mad at them. Oh my God, you know what I did? I didn't realize that I had been using, like, I ordered myself a brand new mascara, and there's nothing better than a freshie.
No.
But then I like put it in my makeup bag and then forgot and was using like my old one. And then I just discovered it again, my new one. And it was like,
it's like a surprise again.
Yeah. I was like, gosh, darn, that is so nice. It was like I treated myself to something I totally forgot about.
Did I tell you I got Peg hooked on Thrive?
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What does she
it does.
love?
I got her the eyeliner and the mascara. She's really into eye makeup.
I could see her with that. Yeah. I feel like she would also do great with a pink lip.
Oh my gosh. I'll ask her if she wants one.
She would look great with that.
I've been thinking recently about how like one of the things I really love about Peg, I know I shit on Peg all the time, but one of the things I really love about Peg is that she was so like, she's ritualistic, so she's so reliable and dependable, and was always awake. She was never awake after me. Like, she was always up at like 3 a.m. So like to me, like, she never slept, you know?
Yeah.
And I've never in my entire life seen her without makeup. One time.
What?
Not once.
Oh my God, that's wild.
I can't even imagine what she looks like without makeup on.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. No wonder. Okay.
I mean, I don't think that's the best story, but I'm just saying, like,
yes.
it's as if the makeup is her face.
Yeah, and you know, if you could convert somebody who's been wearing makeup like that to try anything new.
She loves makeup, yeah.
She's, as I put on, I'm using my Thrive Clear lip gloss right now, which, I love it when it's almost empty.
Yeah, I love that. Right? And
Like,
it's not sticky. I hate sticky glue kinds.
You know me, I would hate that. I don't like anything like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Good to go.
And you know how we feel about the mascara, the Empower Matte Precision Lipstick Crayon, the Brilliant Eye Brightener. Come on. Amplify your spring look with Thrive Cosmetics. Go to thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy for an exclusive offer of 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy.
Yes.
All right. I think I had a bait. What did I have cooking? Okay. Oh, like, let's talk about class warfare.
Okay.
All right. So, eat the rich and all that.
Absolutely.
It's like, makes me so mad. Do you know those people like in Malibu or whatever that don't want anyone to be able to access the beach?
I hate those people.
I hate them.
Don't get me started.
Like,
and that
fuck
whole
you.
water line of like where the tide, fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck them. Well, this is like another version of that. So,
I say that same thing to the hotels in all the.
Yeah, you don't own the beach.
That they're starting to do that in Costa Rica. They kind of like what Tulum, Mexico had, like where they buy up all the hotels and then they say, no, we don't own the beach, but you in order to get to the beach, you have to walk through the hotel, and then they look at you like, oh, can I get? And we were in Costa Rica, and I went walking right through, and my girlfriend's like, don't we have to? And I'm like, no, we're going. I don't give a shit. They don't own nothing. I'm going right through. Because this wasn't like this last year.
You're going to be like one of those white ladies that gets arrested in like Thailand that has like one marijuana leaf in their bag, and then they're like a death penalty.
Don't jinx me.
Well, because you forget to recalibrate to like, they don't give a shit.
Well, in Costa Rica, the Costa Ricans are on my side. It's the white people who came in and bought the hotels and are like, now we don't. No, you don't. I was here 12 years ago when this was not even here, and my mom's lived here for 12 plus years, now like 15 years. No.
Okay, yeah, so you're on the side of the locals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, we like that.
Yes.
I agree, it's so gross.
So gross.
And
you don't own.
It seems like it's increasing that like wealthy people, like truly in their brain, believe they deserve things that are natural resources.
Could you imagine?
No. It's bonky. So there's a town in Minnesota, and evidently like Target and some other huge companies are there, and based there.
Yeah.
And so like then there's these like proper C-suite like business bros that live there. And there's this one town that's, just like an enclave or whatever. And we all are familiar. They don't want to mingle with the riffraff. And so like, it's gated and all that jazz. Okay, fine. Mm-hmm. But it is the only place in the United States that is not represented on Google Earth, like the maps.
Interesting.
And the reason is because they configured their neighborhood. You know how like in a normal neighborhood, you have like your property and then like a little bit of easement, like where, the road is.
Yeah.
You might have a little bit of the sidewalk, whatever. They configured it so that your property goes to the middle of the road so that there is not a public road in the entirety of this community. It's all private. And so there's like a homeowners association, and it's all these gazillionaires. And
you can't even drive on the roads.
You can't come into this neighborhood unless you live here or you are invited by a resident. Mm-hmm. So like some journalist, tip of the hat, was annoyed.
Yeah.
And he knows about the law. And he realized that he could get a drone. And as long as you launch the drone from public road or property, then you can fly. The airspace above these fuckers is open for biz. And so that's what he did. And he went around the neighborhood and he did, because Google Earth allows you to upload your own shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So he takes his drone and he goes around the whole neighborhood. And there were some spots he couldn't get to, but for the most part, he was able to get a Google Earth map for this enclave, and he uploaded it to Google. And for a few days, it was glorious. And then it disappeared. And it just makes me so mad that these fuckers think that, the ones that want to know where you're going. They listen to you on your fucking phone. They track you wherever you're driving.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to know who
use
you
the
voted
data
for.
collecting to get to make their businesses make all the money that they make.
You ever go into a Target and the Wi-Fi you have to get on their Wi-Fi to have your phone work?
Dude, I've been saying that. I was like, they purposely do that
it's
at businesses.
Dead zone at every Target.
I also said that when I was in college. I'm like, I think that these are dead. I think that this is intentionally done. Yes. Fucking yes. Where's my...
We're blowing it.
That's right.
Because... okay. So you're too good for...
Right.
Even just the outside of your house to be on Google Earth, which everybody else is.
Right.
It infuriates me.
Like, what makes you so special? I don't like it. And people who, I can hear people maybe saying, oh, but like they pay for that kind of... No. I don't think you get to...
You can do most things. You can be isolated and insulate yourself from... poor people, if that's what you really want.
Right.
But there are some things that feel worse than that. They feel, well, it's an oligarchy.
Yeah, it is. Oh, 100%.
So anyway, eat the rich.
Yeah, definitely. Man, I hate that. I
don't like it either. What's wrong with you?
That, you know what? People are going to be mad at me for this one.
Oh,
but that was my beef that I had. Like, one of the big reasons why I'm not a crazy Taylor Swift fan.
Why?
Because she did that whole thing about I own the land and whatever, the beachfront, this is I own the beach thing.
I don't like that one bit.
I don't either.
Because here's the thing. I don't doubt that it is very annoying to not be able to go anywhere and to have no privacy.
Right.
But it is a trade-off.
Yeah.
You became a billionaire.
Yeah.
And you have people worshiping you.
Yeah.
And now you're mad that there is a downside?
Yeah. And then if you have all those resources, some of them might have to be allocated to doing things like security and stuff like that. If you are in that.
Yeah, you might be uncomfortable sometimes. We're all uncomfortable all the time because we're worried about paying our bills, you dumb bitch.
Yeah. Okay. See, I thought people would be mad at me, but there you go. I'm not over here calling her a dumb bitch.
I'm happy to double down.
Yeah.
Because that's gross. And you know who's not like that? People like Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
He's not a dickhead. He's just like, yeah, you want to hang out? Whatever. Let's play Scrabble.
Yeah, you know who else, I feel like, I don't know anything about, but I feel like would be like this with her real estate is Ellen.
Oh, please.
I don't know anything. I have allegedly. I don't know anything about, but I could see.
We know enough.
I could see her being like, don't come on my property. Like, don't. If you have beachfront property.
It's all the ones you think it would be.
Yeah. Just let people enjoy. The beach is for everybody.
The beach is for everybody. Sorry, you can't own the earth.
Right. You just can't. You can own the space in front of it up to a certain point, but at what?
Make a pretend
Can I
beach
not swim in the water in front of it? Can I not I don't like that. I don't like keep nature.
Yeah. Buzz off.
Yeah.
Get back to your guitar. All right. I don't know what you think about this. Well, I know what you think about Nutrafol, though.
Oh, hello. I just refilled my vitamin. I have, a little vitamin rounder that I
love that thing.
Dispenses it. I love it.
Yeah, tell everybody about it.
It's so good. And I just refilled it this morning with my Nutrafol hair and skin.
Yes.
And I saw some photos of my hair not that long ago when I first cut it. It's grown so much.
I agree. It's not even short.
It's not.
I know.
And when it gets wet, look.
I know.
Susie.
I know. Because for day one, it was like, okay, well, we're in this for the long haul.
I was not happy. And I'm feeling really good about this.
First of all, it looks adorable. And second of all, you're right. It has grown so much. And that was just 2 minutes ago.
It feels like it.
And that's the beauty of Nutrafol, which is a hair growth supplement that is backed up by science and doctors and stylists.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it because they know it works. They don't want you wasting your money. If you want something that works, this is what you got to do.
Everybody's using it. This is the stuff.
#1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it's the #1 hair growth supplement brand personally used by that dermatologist. And it's peer reviewed, NSF certified for sport, and clinically tested. And I mean, we all want to grow our hair properly.
Yes.
This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Let your hair be one less thing to worry about. See visibly thicker, stronger, faster growing hair in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter promo code BrainCandy. That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BrainCandy. And they have different formulations if you're, you just had a baby or you're menopausal or, everybody has different needs because a lot of it is physiological. All right, hold on. Next up. Ooh. Okay.
What?
This is about people who have, been diagnosed with a terminal illness.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, given the general prognosis and expectation of how long they'll live. Mm-hmm. And then they outlive it or they actually go into remission or whatever.
Yes. This was my uncle was put on hospice, home hospice, then taken off, then put on 2 or 3 times. And my aunt said that was really hard for because he did turn around. Like things got a little bit better at times, and I could only imagine how difficult that'd be. You prepare yourself, and then.
Yeah, I guess the article was interesting. It was in the National Post, and it was interviewing people who have experienced that. And like some of them were pissed.
To not die?
Yeah. Like whenever they got the news that they were going to be living longer or that they went into remission, they were like, the fuck? A lot of them had spent all their money. Right?
Oh my God.
Because you're like bucket listing. You have a year to live. Okay, let's go. Wouldn't you?
Oh, dude. I did not even think about it like that. About like you live and then what if you depleted all your resources in whatever way?
This one lady said, they said 15 more years she's in. And she's like, I got no money. You know? I never thought about that.
Okay, that's actually fucked. Because what are you supposed to do? What, you're going to not spend it because what if you die?
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah. So like a lot of these people feel like, and it's also just this question of like, what do I do? Go back to work? Like you're thinking that it's lights out.
Yeah. And what do you do? What are you going to do after that? And also if you say you go into remission, I would imagine it's not just like a light switch, like you're sick and then you're healthy. If you're on like hospice care, you're like thinking about end of life stages.
That's right.
You're not just fit as a fiddle and ready to go back to work.
Yeah.
Afterwards or whatever.
And some people
I would imagine it's a slow. Wow.
Yeah.
Healing
and some
process.
people find like relief whenever they're told, say you have a year to live or so. There's almost like a relief of the certainty of that because most of us are just like, I don't know, when am I going to die tomorrow? So then to be jolted back and have someone be like, no, wait, we don't know. It turns out you might be here for the long haul or you might still die and in a way that's what life is on this earth.
Right.
But
that is
in
true.
the other hand, you were told a truth that wasn't.
This makes me think about that book we read, The Measure, where everybody gets the string that tells you how long you're going to live. And this makes me go back. When we read that book, I said, I do not want to know my length of string. And this makes me double down on that. This makes me even more convinced of that in knowing there's actually some mistakes that can be made, or there's some things that could go worse, or you can make things. Just live your life. I don't know. I just don't want to know. I don't want to.
It's so
but then
hard.
If somebody tells you,
it's hard to say because let's say it was a very short.
You're so right. Everything you're saying, I see it both ways. I can't imagine.
Yeah. Like there's no right answer.
There's absolutely no right answer. It's just the worst. You just hope
I think maybe the bucket list stuff should be free. Like be with your family. Maybe don't go on a spree.
Like
maybe a concert or a trip or something.
There should be maybe a net just in case, and then that net could then go to, your loved ones after if you were to pass.
This is like an idea, suggestion box idea for any insurance company out there, where you could buy insurance for like, if you spend all your money on your bucket list, but then you live.
Well, that kind of like the people, like you were said, who were banking on, who bought the life insurance policies on the people who had,
with AIDS and then they got cured. Yeah. They were pissed.
Like
that's so gross. Maybe don't
God.
gamble on other people's lives, you fuckers. But like when it's your own life, it's like, oh.
I would want some sort of. Yeah, and you never know what kind of trials may be coming out, or what drugs or new, cures for things might be.
I guess I want to know, like, I know there's no right answer in terms of like, these are hypotheticals, but if you did get news that you were sick and that you were probably gonna die within like a few months. Like, what would you do?
I'd spend a lot of time with loved ones.
Yeah.
That's it. I spend a ton of time with loved ones, and I'd really enjoy the physical earth. Like I would go, I'd want to look at sunsets. I'd want to like all the things, like my physical body. I think about that, anytime I do any like reflecting or like have a moment to practice gratitude or meet somebody who's maybe in a different situation. And like, I really try to like be appreciative of the physical connection that I have with this physical world. Like I would want to float in an ocean, and I would want to really like feel the water on my body, and I'd want to like lay in the sun.
Yeah, like sensory
stuff that is this also.
Would you
like,
think about like your legacy?
Connected. I don't think I would as much. I don't know why it's been something that, and maybe I'll think about it different the older I get, but in a way I feel like a little bit of in a weird way being on, not like this is my legacy, but being on reality television and doing this podcast. Enough. Yeah, I'm not going to disappear. I'm not going. Nobody's going to like. It's not. There's enough. It's more like I want to be a little selfish. I don't care as much about how other people enjoy me after I'm gone. If they do or don't, whatevs. I hope that maybe I helped some other people in their journey in this physical place, and I always like to think that I leave like the place better than I found it. That's just my general rule every time I'm in nature or something. I like to pick up trash, or just like as the person that I am, I kind of feel like I've already done enough of those things to feel like I don't need to cram for like the final test, Like I think I'm good on that. What about you?
So, I mean, I feel like it's a real catch-22 because, the old like live like you're dying thing. That idea is nice and it's very seductive, and it's I suppose meant to zoom in on like what are your values, what is important to you. But like we already said, nobody knows how much time they have.
Right.
The idea of like live like you're dying is like, well, you are.
Right.
But we also have to think about it as a marathon because you got to pay your fucking bills.
There are some things like it's a really important thing to remember. I remember when I was doing some like spiritual practices, one of the points that they made, this like person who was giving a lecture said, you have to remember we still exist in a physical world run by these physical rules. Yeah. And like you can't let your mind get too lost in like the Yeah,
it's very romantic to be like, oh, finite.
Right. In those other spaces that it has to be rooted in.
Even the idea of a legacy.
Yeah. I mean, you have a kid. How do you feel?
I mean, like you said, I do find it heartening that if I were to, check out, that if he wanted to, he could listen to 1,000 hours of his mom's dumbass musings. The truth is, none of us are really that important.
Right.
And like, maybe you miss me one day, you can listen to an episode.
It all... Yeah. It all is just like when I think about the idea of a time capsule.
Yeah, I thought you loved a time capsule.
I do, but I'm just thinking about this. Here's what I love. Opening one, not putting stuff into one.
You love old gossip.
I want to open it up and figure out that I don't want to be the one making the gossip or...
Okay, how would you describe the difference in personality from the person burying the time capsule and really into doing that, and the person unearthing it? The creator of a time capsule.
Yeah, almost like the preacher or the teacher versus the student.
Totally.
You know? I see myself as more the student. That's like, what do you got in there? Let me learn. And there's something about like uncovering the past that's just really exciting to me.
Yeah.
And learning from it. And I care about that way more than I care about projecting my
I agree with
voice
you
into
completely.
the future.
Yeah, I
Which
agree.
I get is kind of backwards for somebody who's a podcast host. But this is about the here and now.
Yeah, we certainly weren't thinking about the future. Believe me, I would have said a lot of things quieter. I was not thinking about a legacy.
So there you go. Yeah,
All
right?
okay.
We wouldn't have gone on reality television.
No, I just don't get me started.
But like, who cares?
Every day I have to answer to some loser on Instagram being like, you called her a slut in 2005.
Who cares? Like, look at what we're doing
you're
now.
a dumb bitch. What do you say about that? All right. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Are you familiar with the concept of... Wait, hold on. Let me see if I want to do this one or I want to do a different one. All right, I'll do it. Are you familiar with the concept of microcheating? This was also in the Atlantic.
I have come across this. I think the word micro we just throw in front of it to make it sound like fun, but this is something that as a marriage and family therapist I have talked about and known about, or we discuss in some way since like day one of this in my job, because we often talk about how important it is to, you know, like premarital counseling almost, or even like in a relationship, that you have to talk about all like expectations, and that expectations are usually unmatched expectations are what lead to problems in a relationship and leads to problems in communication and all this stuff. I expect you to be one way and you're not, or I expected you to not do that and you did it, whatever. So we spend a lot of time working on what are the expectations of monogamy in a relationship. What are the rules? And I say, unless the rules are explicitly outlined,
anything goes.
Anything goes. That we're going to assume that it is that one person has their own set, and
you don't think anything's implied in monogamy? You called it monogamy.
Well, what's implied in monogamy is monogamy with that, but then we have to look
Sexual.
at what does that mean? That for some people, where does that? So that
that's what I'm asking.
That means for most one
What's
sexual
implied?
partner.
Okay, so that's the implied.
It's different for everybody.
Is anything implied? Well, that word means nothing.
I mean, it means you have one partner, but what that means, what is having one partner mean?
Fair enough,
and that could be for anybody. Like, what is cheating? It's more of a question of like, what is infidelity? What is cheating? Where's the line? Where's the boundary for your own behavior?
Yeah.
I remember my ex-husband was the kind of guy who would flirt with
I love that about him.
I know, you two are the same.
Yeah, he's such a doll.
He was so good at being like schmoozy with
girl.
Yes, and that everybody loved that. That's one of the things I loved
hilarious.
about him. It was great, and he would do it with like hostesses at restaurants and like people who worked, and
we are the
I
same.
was always like, stop flirting. Because I had it in my head that there was this expectation that which then of course is ridiculous after I look at like that is who that person is and da-da-da. But that is something that I had to then explore about what are my expectations in a relationship, which now are, you know, I look for different characteristics. I look for different things in partners that don't,
you know what though, Sarah?
match that, you know?
That feeling though, with that person, to me, it wasn't the flirting with the hostess. Because if you felt secure and confident in every other way, and like this guy worships the ground I walk on, that wouldn't bother you because you'd be in on it. It's like, you know, you could flirt with her too.
Yeah.
And I think that it tends to bother people.
Totally.
When this foundational stuff ain't happening.
Yes.
And
that's a really good point.
More of a canary in the coal mine.
Yes, that's a really good point. That, there needs to be... But there are some just like basic. I think in the age of
people.
Obviously. But in the age of people being so accessible, I don't think people have ever been more accessible in any other time in history. You know, you could DM somebody, and you could do it very secretive. Like there's a real
so
way.
Many ways
to gain access to people, but also keep it. You know,
there's more ways to catch people, and there's more ways to hide stuff.
Yes, and so I think there needs to be more of a discussion on what expectations are and what boundaries are in the relationship for monogamy and just like rules of engagement. Like, is liking another person's photos
that's
cheating?
The thing.
Is a DM cheating? Like,
I mean, this article was saying like their idea of microcheating is different for everyone, as you're saying,
right?
But it can include liking somebody's post on Instagram, following a female celebrity that you're not interested in their work or anything. You just like to look at them. Sliding into DMs, sending nudes. The scale continues the spectrum of severity.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, like you said, yes, there's so many more opportunities for people to whatever. But it used to be back in the day, people were probably flirting their buns off.
Right.
But their partner would just never know about it. And so no one got hurt in that way, especially if it was just silly stuff.
Right.
You know?
And this feels like...
There's too much of a microscope.
I totally agree. I think there's too much of a microscope, but I also think that if we were to apply some of the same, I don't know, like attitudes and behaviors that a lot of people have with their online behavior, if we took it offline and they acted like that take some guy who's following all of these like hot Instagram models or something, and he's like, if you took that behavior offline and you made it like analog, then that's like going into a dude's house and he's got his entire wall is covered with like the Budweiser bikini girl posters and like, so I wouldn't date that. That would be weird to me, and I would be like, so I think that maybe we need to not let people off the hook for some of that behavior that would be weird if it were offline.
It's interesting though that you're describing it as a man partner.
Well, I'm just using that as an example. Like, if
I wonder if you wouldn't mind if a woman was following hot women.
I don't think I would really care.
I don't think so either.
I don't.
Because you're like, I get it.
I know. I'm like, and I think I really understand. I think maybe that's the difference between being in a relationship with a woman and being in a relationship with a man, though. I really think that, like, I do not think that the hottest, most attractive woman could walk by my girlfriend or me, and I don't think either of us would be like, well, I'd really like to sleep with her, or like, I'm gonna risk my relationship for that.
Yeah.
Neither of us would even consider that.
Right.
Because why? That's not, because banging a hottie isn't high on the list of things that are important to me in a relationship in my 40s.
Yeah.
But I think that is not the case with men. And I don't want to, not all of them, but some of them. And I think that the studies that we've seen from like, what age are men most what men find women most attractive are the things that I'm basing this information off of.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
So, and my own eyeballs and experience.
Yeah. I hear you.
So, yeah.
Okay. I just wondered what you thought about that. Okay. Next up is, okay, let me delve into this. It takes a minute, but there was an article in Aeon magazine or .org or whatever. And the title was something like, there are no psychopaths or there are no sociopaths or something.
Okay.
And basically it was a call for people in the psychology field to abandon this zombie diagnosis or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So the article to me was ridiculous. It made no sense. The argument was flimsy, and I wanted to know what you thought about it because so the definition they gave of psychopaths was a biological disorder so extreme that it impairs the innate human capacity for moral attitudes and pro-social behaviors. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. But throughout the entire rest of the article, it kept referring to like feelings. For me, what do you think is the defining nature of a psychopath?
Well, I'd say behavior more than like feeling, sure, but I think it's the acting upon those or that make it.
Okay.
That, because if you're going to, I mean, what do I think are the defining traits? Yeah, it's
like they kept
like behavior based.
He kept referring to it as like time after time we've done these studies that show that people that have, checked the box of like what a psychopath is, then when they do this test, they have emotions, they have empathy, blah, 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 blah. But not one time in the whole article did they say what I think is the defining thing, which is guilt and remorse, a conscience, a feeling like they might be able to know, like, I just hurt that person.
Yeah.
Or they might be able to be angry and sad themselves. That's emotion.
Yeah, I guess I would call that, because that to me is like the behavior afterwards is like a lack of empathy or remorse, which I guess is feelings.
But
more
they
than
say
it is.
they have empathy, but to me that means that you can understand what someone feels.
Right. But
to
they don't
me,
have the guilt or remorse.
The element is, and I feel bad that I made them feel that way.
I would agree with you.
I would agree. One time in that article.
That is the key. That is the important part. And I feel bad that I made them feel that way.
That's what prevents us from doing
I feel
all
bad
kinds.
for me. Because that is, you're right. I would say 100%. That is the key factor.
Then whenever I say like it's someone with no conscience, like they don't feel that sense of like,
yes.
So I was totally annoyed with it because they were pointing out all this study after study of like, see, they do have emotions.
You should write them.
They have emotions. I should.
As somebody who interviews serial killers,
I always
you
act
are
like it's out
an
of my
expert on
hands.
this. You should write them and be like,
"Excuse me.
Here you go from Dr. Susie Meister."
Oh, right. Okay.
Susie.
Because like then they were the person writing said, a lot of times people bring up serial killers as evidence that there's this thing called psychopath. I bet you this author is a psychopath. I'm just saying, allegedly. Okay. And so then they used Ted Bundy as an example. Okay, fine. Let's do that. Okay. So then it said, while Bundy is sometimes portrayed as an otherwise normal person who suddenly decided to kidnap, kill, and maul women with no sense of guilt and regret, a careful study of his life reveals...
Okay. There you go. Wait. No sense of guilt and regret.
Okay. But then listen to the following. A careful study of his life reveals that he struggled with all kinds of mental health problems. Okay. such as delusions, violent sexual urges, and substance misuse. Okay. Yeah, probably did.
Yeah.
That you're not telling me he had a conscience.
Right. None of that.
Those things maybe contributed to the fact that he didn't feel bad.
Yeah.
And then it says he also had a history of low self-esteem and social awkwardness.
That's different than caring about how. That's different than.
I'm going to give you one guess on the gender of the author.
Male.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And then it says aspects that are rarely associated with psychopathy. So like he's saying that like.
I don't think that that's true.
Me neither. What are you talking about?
That you can have a very low sense of.
Do you think
Trump that's like a narcissist who feels like very like.
Exactly. He's a perfect example to me of somebody who comes across as very confident, but I think at his core
stems from
is like
insecurities or I wish I'm not enough, or somebody one time told me I wasn't enough, or
what we found out about Hitler.
Right.
By the way, I'm going to talk about this at our 1000th party. One of my favorite brain candy nonsense stories is when I discussed on the show the scientific discovery that Hitler had a micro penis.
Yes.
And like one ball or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, we were both sort of just like, okay, that explains a lot. You know, just sort of like, I'm sure that didn't help matters.
Right.
And somebody on Instagram said I was body shaming Hitler.
I feel like you're allowed.
Yeah, here's my rule of thumb.
Yeah.
My rule of thumb is that if you murder more than 6 million people.
Yeah. We can shame you we can treat you shitty.
Like, besides the fact that we were just saying like things that happen in one's life, be it a physical.
Listen, I would shame him for fucking eczema, and I am a sufferer of that condition. So if he had that, that's what I'd be shaming him for. It's not like, hello, anything that I can.
This is like liberal.
We've taken it too
bullshit. Far. Yes, absolutely. Where like they care more about this vague concept of like body confidence than the fact that Hitler's the biggest murderer.
Right. What's happening? We've lost the plot.
Ma'am. And she was DMing me
and
like
it's
crazy.
a ma'am?
Oh, yeah, it's a lady.
Okay. Now, if this were a guy who was saying, look, I am
there were those too. I didn't take as much issue with that.
And then I get that. And I'm like,
we had those too.
And hey, I've slept with somebody who had one. I don't even give a shit.
Yeah, it's the motion of the ocean.
You know this, Susie.
I sure do.
Yeah.
I would love to talk
more about it. You facilitated that. I think it might be 2 people.
Yeah, it was 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I literally don't care.
Because she doesn't want any.
What I do care about is if you commit mass genocide.
Yeah. We're just like not into that. But like that to me was this sort of moment where like just thought liberals are fucked. Because if you're telling me that I shouldn't talk about a scientific fact that we now know is real,
right?
That Hitler had a micro penis in one ball, and we should not talk about it because it might hurt dead Hitler's feelings.
Help. Yeah.
All right, people, we'll keep working on it. I mean, let's face it, sociopaths never leave our minds.
Right.
I got bad news too, is that the next episode I'm also going to have a bad voice. So just be prepared for that. I hope you guys like it.
I love it.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.